sobriety solution. And today I have a very special guest. His name is Jeffrey Taylor, and he is the author of A Gentleman Drunk. And today he's going to share his story of recovery with us, which is fantastic. And Jeffrey, it's great to have you on. I want to say it's interesting because I've been on Amazon and I've seen your book out there, and I've almost bought it a few times, and now I'm going to have to buy it since I get this opportunity to talk to you today. I'm looking forward to hearing your story. So if you could introduce yourself, love to hear a little bit.
Yeah, Jeffrey Taylor, live here in Scottsdale, Arizona. I break my anonymity. I go to AA, and the reason I break my anonymity is because I had a very good friend that kept his anonymity, and he didn't show up at a meeting, and we all looked for him, and none of us could find him. By the time we found him, he had passed away. So I decided to break my anonymity so people could always find me. So that's why I do go by the last name, because I know some AA people get upset by that. But yeah, I have 7 years sobriety. Got sober on April 15th of 2003. I was doing my taxes, and I finally said, enough is enough. Went on to the Internet, Googled a variety of programs, moderation management, rational recovery. I'm Jewish, so I looked into religious concepts, and I came across the AA website. They had a 44-question quiz. Took the quiz, and I said, I may be an alcoholic.
Yep, and that's a great story. I mean, a lot of people, that's how they start finding information. I remember taking a lot of quizzes and things like that, and looking at my blood work on Google, trying to say, what does that mean that my liver numbers are bad? Excellent. Well, it's great you're sober today. Why don't you take a step back and start us down your path of how you started down the path of alcohol and addiction?
Well, I didn't know I was an alcoholic. I was a high-bottom drunk, and I traveled all over the world. I was making a couple $100,000 a year, doing a couple 100,000 miles a year traveling. I was a single malt drinker. I pretty much knew my wines, my alcohols. When I was down in Mexico, my clients would buy me Don Julio. When I was overseas, in Asia, Africa, I actually lectured in Nigeria. People were always trying to impress me with their private collections, and I enjoyed it. And for the most part, I had a pretty good career. I was a functioning alcoholic, because I do tell people when people say, are all alcoholics alike, the first thing I say is no, it's a unique situation to everyone's body, and whether you call yourself an alcoholic or not is also a unique decision, because in AA, you're not supposed to call another person an alcoholic. And I came to the conclusion that I had a problem. I just didn't know what it was. So finally, a gentleman came to me and said that I was starting to lose clients. And I said, what? He says, yeah, you're starting to offend people. You're starting to slur your words. You're starting to fall down. And I thought, oh, my God, something's happening. But I thought it was jet lag and stress. And it really took me a long time to figure out that I couldn't process alcohol. So that's really where I discovered my issue. But I started drinking when I was 12. I broke into my father's liquor cabinet, and I drank for 40 years.
Wow. And talk about your family a little bit, brothers, sisters, where you grew up.
Well, let's see. Grew up in Jersey, Jewish neighborhood. Dad worked on Wall Street. Mom was the country club wife. Basically, we lived in Leave It to Beaver land. It was very nice, serene, quiet. No one did anything wrong. My problem was I was kind of nerdy and introverted, and I got beat up all the time. I also ate a lot, so I was overweight, and through that isolation, I saw my family partying, and basically they were entertaining Wall Street executives all the time. I played the piano, so I was the entertainment, and shuttled off to the kitchen to eat dinner with the caterers. Did not know I was really living a dysfunctional life. Saw them drinking, said, that looks interesting, broke into the cabinet. I only drank the white stuff and then would dilute it with water. And then when my parents would start serving that to people, they'd say something's wrong with the liquor, and they blamed it on the maid. So I pretty much got away with it for many years.
Wow. And now, did you have brothers and sisters? Do you have any brothers and sisters?
I have a sister. Her name is Jill, and Jill works in New York. There was a long period of time when we did not talk because people did not understand that I was an alcoholic, and people thought I was just an arrogant, son of a bitch. Basically, we didn't talk for many, many years, and it's only through the 12-step program that I made my amends. If people are familiar with the program, doing a step 9. And basically I made amends, and I've been able to develop a relationship and redevelop a relationship with my family. So I have a younger sister. She's about 3 years younger, and she lives in New York City. I live in Scottsdale, Arizona with my wife. My 2 kids live in California. Both of them are in Hollywood. One's a photographer. One is a makeup artist. And there was a long time that I did not talk to my family. I pretty much isolated. And again, through the program, I have felt very comfortable with making the amends and getting things back on track.
That's fantastic. So let's take a step back. You're 12 years old. You get your first time drinking. As I assume a lot of people, the first time drinking, it's like, wow, I feel accepted. You go through what it was like the first time drinking, and then how did high school look for the rest of you with alcohol, and through high school, and then your next stage?
That's a great question, Dave. I know a lot of people really focus on, what the medical or medicinal impact is of alcohol and becoming like Superman. I really didn't think that way. And, people ask, what's it like? And I go, when you're 12 years old, at least from my perspective, when you're 12, I wasn't sitting there and thinking like, oh, this makes me all powerful or, makes me. I mean, yes, there is that change that you feel more comfortable because you're drugging yourself. But I don't remember drinking a whole heck of a lot. I never passed out. The first couple times I did throw up, and of course I had to clean it up. But I don't remember that transition or transformation from introvert to going out there and partying, because I don't remember drinking often. But when I did drink, I'd go up to my room, have a couple shots. I'd read my comic books or whatever. I just assume it was, natural. I didn't really put a lot of emphasis on it. So I really can't recall a lot. But through therapy, I went back and tried to revisit, why I did things. And I pretty much came to the conclusion I just was not happy in my environment and couldn't wait till I got out. So from 12 to 18, I pretty much, drank, quietly. And then when I went to college, I really turned more to marijuana and hashish, and drinking was accompanying it. So for those first 6 years, I really don't remember a whole heck of a lot.
So where were you? Where did you go to college at?
I went to school at Washington University in St. Louis. They had come to campus, and I was going to a prep school in Livingston, New Jersey, and they came to campus, and they were really pushing how St. Louis was a wonderful town, and they had just completed building the arch. This was in 1969, 1970, and I looked at the pictures, and I said, I wanted to go far enough away from home, but still be close. In other words, I was angry, I wanted to go away, but I was also realistic that my parents were paying for it, and I also was still very insecure and was dependent on them for cash flows. I really didn't have any entrepreneurial spirit or entrepreneurial, know-how at that time. So I basically, went to St. Louis, and I remember that TWA was doing a special. I think it was like $63 round trip from Newark, New Jersey to St. Louis on TWA, and I could fly back home in like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And that's why I picked Washington U. It was a small campus, around 4,000 people, and they wanted to get a lot of East Coast people because Washington U was almost going bankrupt, and they had too many people going to school from St. Louis, and they wanted to expand, and it was just like perfect timing. I remember the first day I was on campus, and I saw all these beautiful co-eds because I went to an all-boys prep school, so seeing women for the first time, getting away from home, going to a different part of the country, it just felt like the right thing.
Excellent. And so you're at Washington University. What's it like? You've been drinking some on the side. Is it just a whole new world? You have friends, and then you're drinking, you're smoking pot. Is there any inclination that you have a problem, or are you just kind of living the college life that a lot of
just living the
people go
college
through?
life. And yeah, another great question. First semester, I did not take drugs. They were offering it to me because I was introverted and scared. I didn't want to take them. I had seen a picture. God, what was it called? The one where he's smoking the marijuana at the piano, and Reefer Madness.
Oh, yeah.
I seen a movie called Reefer Madness, and I said, oh, my God, you smoke this stuff, and you're going to turn into a zombie. So I pledged